The church we see is a church filled with people whose lives have been radically transformed by the message of the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's a church filled with people who know God, know His purpose for their lives, and are making a real difference in the world because of it. The church we see is a church filled with people from all cultures and walks of life. It's a church where every person has a place. The church we see is a church where children, teenagers, and adults of all ages love to worship God together. It's a church filled with people who worship God with their all as one because they realize He gave His all for them as one. We see a growing church whose buildings struggle to keep up with the increase. We see a church where generations are intentionally woven together in worship and mission, accomplishing far more than they would if they were segregated by season. The church we see is a church with a heart for those who don't know Jesus Christ in a life-changing way. It's a church whose influence continues to grow until it cannot be ignored by the city, state, or nation. We see a church whose strength is amplified through a collaboration with other like-minded congregations for the kingdom of God. We see a church that understands its mission includes inspiring and synergizing other Bible-based, Christ-centered churches to maximize their effectiveness in what Christ has called them to accomplish. We see a church that realizes Bible-based, Christ-centered churches are the hope of our nation. We see a church collaborating with other national networks as we see our nation replanted with transformational, life-giving churches. We see a church with a heart bigger than its own four walls and the borders of its city and nation. We see a church that mobilizes its members as they participate in missional outreaches around the world. We see a church that collaborates with other local churches on other continents in the world, each helping the other become more and more effective in the global harvest of God's kingdom. We see a church changing our cities, state, nation, and world by linking people and God together for life.
At LifeLink Church, the church we see includes people just like you. We sense God challenging us to dream bigger than ever before and take some significant strides of faith together in order to see those dreams become reality.
The vision for this season of ministry is all for one, intentionally living beyond myself. And we see this practically in three ways: living beyond myself for our family, living beyond myself for our church, and finally, living beyond myself for our world.
We're asking you to join us in this All for One initiative so we can see God reach more people, change more lives, and fund more ministry and do more for His kingdom in our region than ever before. So make the decision today to live all for one.